of having a young William T. Turner as a special guest on her program. Together, they were the force that Hopkinsville needed to create the Pennyroyal Area Museum, which opened in 1976. So let's get to it.
Thank you so much. It's been easy. You all have made it easy. People have made it easy who came to the program as well as listening. So I do these people. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Well, good afternoon. It is 1:03 p.m. and you're listening to 1480 AM WKOA Radio. Welcome everyone to this very special episode of Julia Comes Calling. This is my first episode we've ever recorded in front of a live audience. This episode has been a long time in the making. I thought I recorded my final show way back in 1978 and laid myself to rest permanently 10 years later. But some things, my friends, are worth traveling through time and space to attend. So thank you all for inviting me here on this momentous occasion as we, the people who love Hopkinsville and Christian County, celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Pennyroyal Area Museum. For our studio audience today, here's how this is going to work. This is going to run like my show always has. I have a guest here with me for conversation. We've got a recipe that's been sent in to share. I've got a friend who'll play the piano since my hands, after years in the ground, don't work as they used to. We'll take a few commercial breaks and and I'll entertain some questions from our listeners, from you. So settle in and let's get down to business. With us today, we have a special guest, one who is certainly familiar to me, and I'm sure to all of you, Mr. William Thomas Turner. Woo! Good afternoon, it's so good to see you.
Well, good afternoon, Miss Julia. It sure is good to see you on this side of the ground.
Well, it's always good to be seen. Now, William, just catch me up on everything I've missed.
That's all.
Oh, I'm joking. I've got some notes that the museum director, what is her name? She gave these to me. My word, she is quite the little firecracker. I think these are supposed to keep me on track since we're here to talk about something very specific, something very important, about one of the best things to ever happen in Hopkinsville, the creation of the Pennyroyal Area Museum.
Yes, ma'am, and I do say ma'am.
As you should.
You ought to think it was such a good thing. I said it was your idea. You had me on your show back in February of 1972 to discuss the 175th anniversary of Christian County.
Yes.
And while we were discussing plans for the celebration, you announced, William, we need a museum. And it needs to be in an old post office building.
That sounds like ma'am.
No, it's a need.
Well, and you definitely got to work. You were given an order to fill, and you went through with this. Now, William, I want you to tell our listeners about how the museum came to be, but wait a minute, hold on. It looks like we have our first question from the audience. Yes, ma'am, what is your question?
What's this contraption?
Hello, yes, my name is Martha Wood. My husband Bartholomew and I moved from North Carolina here back around 1794. Our cabin was right around here somewhere near Rock Spring. Is that still here? Oh man, so much has changed. Why, my husband used to shoot deer right off our front porch, just around the bend. Well, on behalf of Bat and myself, I must commend all of you and this community for such a lovely testament to the past and to people like me. But I'm curious as to how and why the museum ended up in the building that it's in.
Well, Miss Mother Wood, what a pleasure. Never in all my days did I think I'd get to meet you. We'll have to get together from Riverside to Pioneer Cemetery. So what a great question. Now, see, personally, I thought the old post office was perfect. It was big, it had that big spacious room where the postal workers had sorted mail, and it has a big, large basement for storage. But it was and we couldn't beat the location, right in the heart of downtown. But it wasn't that easy. There were a lot of hoops we had to jump through, weren't there, William?
There were indeed, yes, they sure were. In fact, when we started the museum, it took the effort of a whole lot of people, your forebears, to make it work, to make it go. And as the years roll by, I think about what did happen. You know, my memory is not what it used to be, so I really have to think real hard to come back with the correct thing. But it seems to me that not too long after you suggested we have a museum, that the then mayor of Hopkinsville, George L. Adkins Jr., called me and said, William, we have a building to use, but we need something to go in it. Well, what is it, I asked. He said, the old post office on 9th Street. He said, we can get it from the federal government for $1. Can you imagine such?
Just a steal.
Absolutely steal. And so he said, now there's one requirement we must have. We must have an educational institution in it, something that would build a business to add to the community, that people here could look to with great pride that had come about. So I said, Mayor, you hit right on the spot. I think you're right. Let's go for it.
Now, I was involved in those, I didn't just come up with this as an idea. I was on that founding board, and William, I remember a day in August, around about 1975, where there were a group of us that met in that old building, and I'm sure most people in this audience have seen it recently. It did not look near like it does today.
We walked into that building that August day in 1975. Joe Woodley, you were there with us on that occasion. It was hot as the hedges of Hades. Absolutely. The windows were open, the breeze was coming through, hot as it was. We formed a circle out in the middle of the room. There was no carpet on the floor, it was a hardwood floor. Now the building, from the time it was built, and I remember that, to the day we were there in 1975, it leaked. It leaked like a sieve. And the leaks had caused the floor to warp. So it really, you had to watch where you walked in those days to be sure that you were absolutely on track. And so we commend Mayor Adkins, who, by the way, observed his birthday yesterday. And so we want to remember him in this cavalcade of people who made the museum come about.
Well, and there were, like you said, a cavalcade. That first meeting, there were about 30 of us, and then the founding board in October of 1975 had more members than anybody ever should have allowed. And some of those have come here with us today. We've got Joe Woosley's here, and Danny Guffey was here earlier too. So we have some folks who stayed with us on this side of the ground for the past 50 years.
We learned that a board should not be large. That was one of the things we learned. There were 30 of us in that group. The mayor asked me to compile a list of the people that I thought would be interested in local history, and they all were. I said, let's bring them all in. Well, we realized we needed to call them a lot, and we did.
And we started as the Pennyroyal Area Museum because there wasn't another museum in the Pennyroyal. So we represented all 9
We
counties.
did, and we called in representatives from the other counties to come and join us then.
It was quite a big operation. I never imagined it would last this long. So then on Thursday, July 8th, 1976, just 4 days after the big bicentennial celebrations, I'm sure some of you remember that well, the Pennyroyal Area Museum opened, and what a day it was. If I remember correctly, the city dedicated Little River Park that morning, and then the museum that afternoon. George L. Atkins spoke, and then you, William. And tell us, William, what do you remember about that opening day?
Well, first of all, it was hot again.
Yes.
Everything we did there was hot. And so the mayor cut the ribbon and we opened the doors to the crowd who came in. It was a big crowd. There wasn't much to see. We had had just a few months to try to collect some artifacts. And so we decided at the last minute that we put on a display of pictures like we have here today. We had large pictures at the college that we put on exhibit, and so we had the room filled with old photographs and a few artifacts.
Well, what a great day it was, and I love that the girls at the museum have put some of those photographs out for us now. Now, the city was designated as a bicentennial in 1976 too. Let's take a quick commercial break to hear what's going on with the city of Hopkinsville.
All American city, a bicentennial city, a city for you, the city of Hopkinsville, a place of art, culture, and community, a place of history, a place for local business to thrive, for beautiful green parks, for hometown pride, the city of Hopkinsville, a place for growing home.
Well, welcome back to this special episode of Julia Comes Calling. Again, the time is 1:14 p.m. and you're listening to WKOA Live in Hopkinsville. My guest, William Turner, and I have been discussing the opening of the museum 50 years ago. Now, we pulled off a monumental effort just to get the building ready for those doors to open. And as you already mentioned, there wasn't much of a display yet because there hadn't been much time to get artifacts in. But I also remember we had quite a hard time convincing people about this museum thing. It'd never been done before. Folks were skeptical and they were a little worried about sharing their antiques and their heirlooms with us.
I went on the radio and we did articles in the paper begging people to dip into their archives and submit items that they would give the museum. In those days, a lot of people thought maybe items would be loaned. Well, we knew that would be a mess in case they started collecting their items back. And so we started with very few, but gradually through the years, it grew and grew until the point now where we have how many?
Well, I did a little research before the show, and I found out that just in those first few years, we got about 600 artifacts that we shook out of people. And the number now, according to the museum's records, has swelled to more than 14,000 today. I guess they have to be pretty bad nowadays, huh?
Oh, no, they don't.
I mean, I donated a few of my things, but even I took a little convincing. I ended up, I gave things, but it took me a couple years before I'd let mine go and trusted this thing myself. So, looks like we have, another question from the audience. Yes, sir. All right, tell us all who you are, please.
Good afternoon. My name is William Falls. Industrial rights teacher and head basketball coach at Alex High School. It has come to my attention that you have
Well, Coach Foles, what an honor it is for you to join us today. It's so good to see you. Now, I did float on over to the museum before I came here, and you're totally correct. Those items are in the museum's collection, and some of those trophies in your playbook is on display right now. They came to us long after I was gone, but I'm so glad that they did. Folks like you, Coach Falls, you're exactly what the museum is all about. The museum is a place, always has been, where we can tell the stories of people who dedicated themselves to this community and shared their talents with us. All kinds of people who made a big impact on Hopkinsville and beyond. And having those physical artifacts, that tangible piece to help tell that history is so important.
Miss Julia, when I think about the myriad of artifacts that come through the front doors, I'm overwhelmed at the community's willingness to share these artifacts. By example, the word came to us one day that there was going to be an auction sale down at, a little town in Tennessee. And in that town was a store, Pew store, and it was about to have the contents auctioned. Among the items they claimed was the cash register out of Hotel Latham.
Oh my.
That's all I needed to know.
Oh.
I did. Before I beat the trail, I knew that we needed money to buy that cash register.
Absolutely.
We didn't have the money on hand. It had to be collected. And so we called a number of people throughout the community who were interested in the museum and asked them if they would contribute to the purchase of that cash register. It had the name embossed on the front. That day, we went to Bumpus Mills, Tennessee, the site of the cash register, with several $100s. I don't remember now just how much. But there at the sale was Mr. Paul Gillum from Country Boy Store. Many of you remember Mr. Gillum. He went there to buy that cash register. So did I. As you might expect, the cash register was the last item sold at the auction. All day long, I watched people trying to determine, you have money bags, are you going to bid on that cash register?
Will you?
They sold the cash register, the last item. Well, before that cash register came up, I summed up all the courage I had and approached Mr. Gillum. Told him I was there to buy the cash register for the museum. He looked at me and said, "Boy, now that was a day or two ago. Can you assure me that cash register will stay in the museum?" I said, "Yes, sir, on my life." And so he did not bid. Oh, wow. Which was a real gift from Mr. Gillum, because he could have bought the cash register. Well, I think we paid around $300 for the cash register. It was dingy looking, very dirty, had not been cleaned up in years. I knew it was brass. And so we came home proudly with that dirty old cash register. I took it to Auburn to a company that makes furniture there, and also in those days cleaned items. And they cleaned and burnished that cash register, so that today it's a beautiful item added to it, to the museum. Now, there's one other thing, Ms. Julia,
Yes.
that ties in with it. The Latham meant so much to so many people. It was the gathering place for the community, civic clubs, weddings, social events, tourists, you name it. Well, as we look at the contribution of the Latham, we think of the famous people who came there. Andy Devine, Teddy Roosevelt, Ethel Barrymore. Oh, I could go on and on. You did come to stay there today.
This is only a half-hour show.
I realize that. Sure you did. You can take your mic away from me.
I would never. Well, that cash register, again, I was just over there. It's on display now along with a video of the fire.
Yes, I want to mention Herdy Miller, who lived in Hopkinsville in the 1930s. And on the afternoon the Latham burned, Herdy had a home movie camera loaded with color film in 1940.
That was a big deal in 1940. Y'all may not realize that, but yes.
He spent the afternoon taking excerpts of the fire from between 1:30 and 5 o'clock. Now that film has been reproduced and is shown in the cabinet where the Latham cash register is kept.
Well, we have so many, I understand there's so many artifacts at the museum, we can't show them all at once, so we rotate things in and out. In the early days, rotated exhibits every 6 months, and now do their best to, my understanding, to just keep things fresh and new, so there's always something new to see. Oh no, we have another question already. Well, my word, if it isn't Mr. Charles Meacham. It is so good to see you.
Well, hello, Miss Julia.
Okay, I know who you are, but introduce yourself to everybody else, sir.
Well, I am Charles Meacham, and I was the first person to ever check his mail at the building that was now the museum when it first opened as a post office back in 1950.
Woo-hoo.
Now, I also was the publisher of the Hopkinsville, Kentuckian newspaper, and I was the author of the History of Christian County from Ox Cart to Aeroplane, published back in 1930. Now, I'm going to read this because my memory is a little faded now.
Well, you are one of my neighbors. Go ahead.
There is a quote now in the current exhibit at the museum, which states, and this quote came from my book, "The early settlers little dreamed that if Eastern Kentucky was good and Central Kentucky was better, there was yet another part of Kentucky that was best of all. That land became Christian County."
That's beautiful, Mr. Meacham, but did you have a question?
Okay, Miss Julia, just give me a moment. First, I must tell everybody that I was mayor of Hopkinsville from 1906 to 1914. Now, my question, Miss Julia, is what is the relationship of the museum to local government?
Well, thank you, Mr. Meacham. I'll see you back at Riverside. That's a big question. I'm gonna let you take that one. What is the relationship with how did the museum start in a relationship with the city?
Well, the museum started with the city, by the city providing money for operation. The county provided money through the CETA program to pay the employees.
Okay, and the city owns the building.
And the city owns the building.
And if I remember right, after a few years, the museum went up under the city as a full agency
Yes,
too.
it did. And for a time, we had two boards, the same people who met simultaneously. You talk about a mess. That really
Was. First we started with 30 people on a board, and then we had two boards that were the same people that met back to back and did different business. I swear, I'm glad somebody took minutes from that, because it was just a mess, I'll tell you. But today, the city and the county both are big supporters of the museum.
Yes, they are big supporters through finances, through money allocated every year through the budget to support the museum.
Well, thank you, Mr. Meacham. I hope that answers your question. And before we go any further, and since we've, I wanted to share a recipe from a caller. It comes from long, long back. And in case any of you missed my show on the air in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, I always included recipes. And I hear that many of those have been printed in a cookbook called a series available at the museum that's called Julia Comes Calling, and you can take a little bit of the show home with you if you ever want. So that's quite the honor and such a creative way to make some money. So this recipe comes to us, William requested it, and it comes to us from the Hotel Latham. Hotel Latham had a dining room, big dining room, and this recipe is called Hotel Latham Pie. So everybody, if you want to scribble this down, you mix together 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 3 whole eggs, 1 cup of white Cairo syrup, a 1/4 cup of sugar, and vanilla to taste. Does that sound sweet? Bake in an uncooked pie crust at 350 degrees until the center is firm, about 40 minutes, or cook until done, like we should do. But I'll tell you what, that pie just sounds like a real fancy chess pie to me.
It's the closest thing to heaven.
Well, this seems like a good time to take a break and to hear from one of our longest serving businesses, one that's been around even longer than I have, and gives us mighty fine bacon every time.
Remember that? Time you do.
Well, wasn't that jazzy? We now return to our special programming. The time is now 1:29 p.m. This is Miss Julia Henry, and I'm with William Turner on WKOA. After the museum opened in 1976, with big ideas and good intentions and energy to spare, one of the first big things that I recall the museum did was back in 1977, when the museum, the library, and the community college hosted a centennial celebration to honor the 100th birthday of Edgar Casey. You and the event had a committee of 2, if I remember right. You, William, and Dee Dee Casey, and y'all really pulled off something special. Now, how'd y'all get all that put together?
Well, we contacted ARE in Virginia Beach.
Oh, yes.
And requested Hugh Lynn Casey, his son, to be the featured speaker. Well, less than a week before the event came off, Hugh Lynn had a heart attack and could not come. Well, we were not to be deterred by that problem, and so we contacted them again and asked if someone else would come. They agreed, and Edgar's grandson, Hugh Lynn Casey, came and was the featured speaker at the seminar, which was held at the library because the museum was under some renovation. Also with Charles Thomas, the grandson who came, was Gladys Davis, Edgar Casey's secretary, who came. She was without doubt one of the most lovely women I ever met, and a delight to visit with.
Well, and it looks like we all get to meet the sleeping prophet today. Edgar Casey, did you have a question?
Yes, Miss Julia. Hi there, Mr. Turner. So nice to see my neighbors from Riverside here with me today. I don't have a question exactly, more of a request, and a moment to share my heartfelt gratitude for the museum and to Mr. Turner for all the work you guys have done in keeping my work alive in my hometown. You know, I wasn't always so well received here by everybody back in my day. And it's not easy being a prophet even in your own country. Could you share with the folks here what the museum continues to do with my story?
Oh, well, of course, Mr. Casey. Now, William, correct me if I'm wrong, but the centennial observance of Edgar Casey's birth was only the beginning.
Yes, absolutely, only the beginning. It's a proud story that the museum has continued to tell to keep alive every year with annual education seminar.
We've, and the exhibit too, from the earliest days, we've worked in, luckily through the pictures that you have and have gathered from the Casey family and beyond, a lot of pictures of Edgar Casey. And I believe it was just a few years after I left this lifetime, we'll say, that with the Edgar Casey Hometown Seminar started in 1992. And that firecracker told me that this coming year, y'all celebrated the 100th birthday in 1977, so next year is going to be the 150th birthday. And this group apparently likes to celebrate big birthdays, and we're going to have a big celebration for Edgar Casey's 150th, bringing people in from all over.
Many people from around the world have come to the annual education seminar, and this will be no exception to it. Also, I would remind you that the museum has sponsored the Night Rider Tour over many years that draws great attention. We've had local history classes from the colonies at the museum and many, many other programs.
One of my favorites, it always made me clutch my pearls a little bit, was when you would tell your the legend of the Bell Witch. How many times have you told that story, William Turner?
Literally hundreds.
Hundreds, yes. Is it always the same?
No, never.
Absolutely. Well, this museum surely has been busy, and we've been so busy talking that it's time for our weather report.
We'll make it sweet. We'll make it short. Now here for you is the weather report.
Good afternoon, I'm Millie Williams with your live WKOA weather report. It's an overcast day today in Hopkinsville with expected showers throughout the afternoon starting around 4. Current temperature outside is a lovely 87 degrees. It won't get any higher than that today. And we can expect an overnight low of 71. Going into Sunday, more rain expected tomorrow and throughout the beginning of this week. 50 years ago today, in 1976, the temperature hit a high of 94 degrees, setting the season record so far that summer. But back to this afternoon, clouds, rain, and high temperatures, with more rain expected to last throughout the rest of the day. The time is 1:35 p.m. and I'm Millie Williams for Western Kentucky's own WKOA.
She's done this before. We're back on this live episode of Julia Comes Calling, and William and Turner and I have been discussing the early days of the museum. Now, we just heard the weather forecast, and they're calling for rain today. And just like the weather, the museum has known some sunny days and some rainy days too.
Miss Julia, in my memory, the bailing of water out of the attic of the museum was one of the highlights. See, the attic of the museum is divided into pockets, and when the rains would come, water would pool in those pockets. We had to go up there with buckets and take the buckets up a ladder and out on the front porch roof and dump the water over. We did that many times.
Please tell me you're not still doing that today, William.
No.
Okay, good. Now, if I remember right, there was a woman who was on the early board who got a little crossways with you, William Turner. Everybody thinks you're just this kind, sweet, charming man, but William Turner, you tell us what happened one day when you were bailing water out of this top of the museum.
Yeah, I have to.
You have to. You gotta come clean, and you're gonna tell this live audience about this story. But first, give us some context about what led up to this moment.
Well, I'll never forget the day. A lady member of the museum board, Joe, you will remember Ruth Doss.
Oh, he called the name.
I don't know if any relatives living in town now. Well, Ruth was a fine lady, but she had very determined ideas. And she began serving as a docent at the museum. And one day some undesirables came in, and Ruth got concerned, I guess, about her own safety. So the next time she came, she carried a hammer with her. And she was observed walking around the museum giving tours, carrying this hammer. Well, the rest of us knew that was not the thing to do. And I spoke to her about it, and she told me in no uncertain terms she would carry a hammer or she'd bring a gun, and she was going to defend herself. Woo! Well, my devilish mind got to working. I thought about all the water in the attic. I knew that Ruth was coming to the museum to serve as docent one morning, and right after she'd been to the beauty parlor.
Go ahead.
So I went to the attic, being very careful to lock the door to the attic. Took the bucket with me, got a bucket filled with water, climbed out on the roof of the front porch, peered over the side. Here she drove up. She didn't know what was about to happen. I didn't either. But she come tripping up the sidewalk, just as the time I heaved that bucket of water over the parapet, and it doused her head.
Oh, no. Will.
Yes. Feel good about it. And so, being sure the door was locked, that no one could get to me, I waited. She waited. 2 hours. I waited in that hot attic. I would occasionally go outside and look over the side to see if her car was still there. It was. Finally, she left. I came down, expecting the staff to really give me Hail Columbia. They cheered and laughed. I stayed real quiet about that. Ruth found out about what happened. All she said was, "You think you're smart, don't you?"
Well, William, you should be ashamed of yourself, but some people deserve a dousing every once in a while. And if I recall, she resigned from the board shortly there. And I understand there haven't been any hammers carried around the museum unless somebody was working with one since. Now, the museum does not, it doesn't leak like a sieve like it used to, and I understand there was a big renovation over time, but a few years ago as well.
We've had 2 big renovations. The most recent one back in 20 and 21.
And that beautiful building certainly has her quirks, but with the upkeep of it and with the constant drive for the museum to just do more and provide more for this community, I can only imagine that there must have been some lean years, if you know what I mean. How did the museum survive?
Miss Julia, the museum survived because of the people before us who have supported it through their money, their donations, their time, and their concern. After you were gone, we got in some bad financial times.
I hate to hear that.
We talked seriously about having to close. The CETA program was abolished. That meant an end to the payment of the staff. The city at times kind of growled about the amount of money they were giving the museum. Many of us felt like maybe the days were numbered. We was coming to an end. But fortunately, we were at the sunrise, not the sunset, because of a gentleman, a very quiet, unassuming gentleman who lived in this community for his over 90 years, Mr. William McCarroll. Mr. McCarroll died in 1991, and we learned when his will was probated that he had left an estate of $500,000
Woo.
to the the museum. Well, we held a meeting. Curtis Frazier and I talked about this bequest to the board. He was with First City Bank and Trust Company. We both impressed upon that board the need to keep our mouths shut. Because the library had just received a donation from the Tandy Trust. They had shouted to the rooftops about it. And the city cut back on their allocation. We didn't want that to happen to the museum.
Oh, no.
So keep your mouth shut. I realized that was underhanded, but so be it. For about 3 months, the museum board stayed mum until we felt it was safe to announce we received that money. And so Mr. McCarroll stepped forward with his estate to save the museum.
And unless my eyes deceive me, I believe he's here with us today. Oh, William McCarroll, as I live and breathe. Oh, thank you for being here, and thank you for ensuring that the museum would keep going long after we're all gone.
Hello, everyone. I'm William McCarroll. My father was Joe McCarroll, who was a very prominent attorney in Hopkinsville in the early part of the 20th century. And my father was also a pillar in the First Methodist Church in Hopkinsville. And I'm very proud to say that the church library is named in honor of my father, Joe McCarroll. After serving in World War I was fortunate to be a successful farmer and investor. I became interested in preserving the history of our community, and I was a benefactor for the Pennyroyal Museum. I want you all to know how proud I am of the manner in which the funds I left have been used. It's obvious that great thought and concern has been put into the thought processes used for these funds to the best advantage of the community. It is my hope that you, the listeners, will take the opportunity to remember the museum or a local charitable organization that's meaningful to you in your estate planning. And it is my wish that you will designate your gifts in a way that will benefit the community for years to come. I am so pleased that I can continue to be a part of something that is so special.
Oh, what a beautiful legacy you left behind. A legacy that continues to bear fruit for the museum and for the community. If only we all could have that privilege and that foresight. Oh, looks like it's time again for one last commercial break. And I bet this one is so near and dear and close to us that we can probably all smell it. We'll be right back.
It's fast, it's fresh, it's a treat to eat. Farrell's Brothers Snappy Service, the snappiest service in town. Delicious 5-cent burgers by the sack, any hour of the day. Or start your morning off right with Farrell's special breakfast for 30 cents. It's open late, it's always great. Let the neon green sign and the smell of grease guide you downstairs. The Farrell's Snappy Service, providing Hopkinsville's snappiest service for 90 years. Disclaimer, ad prices may not reflect current retail prices.
Welcome back to this long overdue episode of Julia Comes Calling. It is 1:47 p.m. and you're listening to WKOA on 1480 AM. we have time for one final question or comment from the audience. Oh, yes, ma'am. Please tell us all who you are.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Since we're in Hopkinsville, I'll introduce myself as Gloria Jean Watkins. But most of the world knows me by my pen name, Bell Hooks.
Yeah.
I was born and raised here, and so I have many strong, wonderful memories that tie me to this beloved community. In my 29 book, Belonging, from that book, I'd like to share these words. We are born and have our being in a place of memory. We chart our lives by everything we remember, from the mundane moments to the majestic. We know ourselves through the art and the act of remembering. Memories offer us a world where there is no death, where we are sustained by rituals of regard and recollection. So I do have a question. That question is, what is the museum doing or will do to foster these memories of our collective past that will encourage us to commit as a community to making a place where everyone can have a sense of belonging?
Oh, it's such an honor to meet you, Bella. That one's deep, William. Well, but just such a beautiful sentiment, one that I hope the museum has kept as its core since it was founded 50 years ago. I know that even during the early days, we wanted the museum to be a place for everyone, to be a space where all could gather to learn and to meet and to be in community together. Ms. Hooks, Ms. Watkins, I'm told that your family has so kindly loaned many of your items to create the Bell Hooks Legacy Room in the museum, in the old postmaster's office, and that a regular book discussion is held in that space. And the museum has done a number of things over time to help not just preserve memories, but to allow the community to make memories together as well. Your class, William, met at the museum.
For several years, the Kentucky history class of the college, we conducted at the museum one night a week. We had a lot of fun, maybe too much fun. One night, class was well underway. There came a knock at the side door. I went to the door and opened it, and there she stood.
Who?
A belly dancer.
Thomas Turner. I never.
In all of her regalia. She said, "May I come in?" Of course I said yes.
Okay.
The class had paid her to come and shake what she had to shake for what seemed like an eternity. When she was gone, one of the class members said, "Team, while she was here, bouncing about in front of you, why did you keep your hands in your lap?" I said, "Because I wanted to keep my job." So we've had many happy experiences.
Well, yes. Now, I hope that there have been some less scandalous things that have happened there as well. But I swear, I didn't know where. I always said I didn't know what I was going to say when I went on the air, and apparently you didn't either. But I do understand that one of the major goals of the renovation a few years back was to be sure that everyone who entered the museum could see something familiar, something they could connect to, and could see something that reflected who they are, and that the good, the bad, and even the ugly sides of history could be told. Not all history is sunshine, as we all know, but by giving these stories the space to be told, we can grow together and create a place of belonging for everyone. At least I hope we can, William Turner. And thank you, Ms. Watkins, for that thoughtful question. Now, William, I have one more big question for you, and I have no idea what you're gonna say. The museum has made it to its 50-year mark. What do you hope to see happen in its next 50 years?
Miss Julia, you and I will be gone.
I already am. I'll come back again.
We didn't rehearse that part. Miss Julia, it is my hope for the future of the museum that we continue to serve as a reflection upon the life of this community, especially for its young people, especially for its minorities, especially for us all, as together we strive to collect and to share the history of the most wonderful community on earth.
My word, I couldn't have said it better myself.
We now pause this specialty programming for a breaking news report from the Museum of Historic Hopkinsville, Christian County. Thanks to the generosity of the community here in Hopkinsville and friends of the museum around the country, as of this very afternoon, the museum has raised a grand total of $20,225, ensuring the museum will continue its vital work for years to come. I'm Melanie Williams. This has been a breaking news report from WKOA. We now return to our special
$20,000 raised just today for this event. That's big money. That was definitely big money in my days, William. Now, as a founding member of the board of directors, I served on the museum's publicity committee, and surely you have some upcoming events that you would like to promote.
Well, sure, Miss Judy, you can keep us aware of what's going on in the time to come.
Alrighty, so, I hear that if I've been told that there were some things I could check to find out things about the museum. What, like?
Well, the biggest event is our annual fundraising gala.
Oh, okay, and it looks like we've got a gala coming in, and there's someone else in the audience who wants to be recognized. We don't have, we're running out of time, but yes, sir, you have some information about this museum gala coming up.
My, most certainly do. And Julie, before I make my announcement, I would like to tell you that your hair looks stunning.
I do this every day.
It'd be a shame if it was a wig. You're in such a good mood. I know that there's been some gentlemen that have been calling on Miss Julie in the afternoon. Well, I most certainly do have an announcement. Mark your calendars for Friday, September 18th, when the museum will be transformed into a mid-century dream as a Palm Royale. This year's theme for the annual museum gala. The breezy resort vibes will center around my life in Hollywood's playground. Who am I, you may be asking yourself?
Yes.
And if you have not known by one of my iconic neckerchiefs that I'm wearing, I am the extra iconic Mr. Gantt Gaither. I've worked in a theater in Miami, producing plays on Broadway and movies in Hollywood. This Hopkinsville boy is settled in Palm Springs, California, where I lived a fabulous life as an artist. I'm just aghast that this museum in my little hometown is making a whole event just about moi. I hear there will be some of my pieces on display, by art by local artists, dinner, live music. Maybe we might get the number to your favorite belly dancer, Mr. Turner. And copious amounts of champagne and cocktails to keep the night going long into the evening. It will be the event of the summer, and if you know it's all about me, it's going to be marvelous.
I turned around and I was like, why is he wearing a neckerchief? I was like, that's a weird outfit choice for him.
And this gala sounds positively terrific. I may have to come back for it too. Please, Mr. Gaither, if you'll be my date.
I wish you would.
Oh, yeah. Well, William, before I have our station manager play us a song on the piano, I just want to tell you something. I want to tell you how proud I am of you for carrying this dream of a museum through 50 years. 50 years of staff and board changes, of budget surpluses, but more often shortfalls, of programs and exhibits and tours and renovations, and for doing it all with humor and such a sense of humanity and love for this little spot that we're all keeping warm, and its people and all their stories. I knew when I gave you that mission on this show way back in 1972 that you wouldn't let me down. And my word, you have impressed me beyond words. I never could have imagined what an impact our Pennyroyal Area Museum would have. Now, I also want to thank all of our, yes. Coach William Falls, our own Mr. James Victor, the newspaper man and Mayor Charles Meacham, or Robert Martin, to you, the world-renowned Edgar Casey, or Andrew Trochet Thompson in this lifetime, Mr. William McCarroll, known to many today as Dan Kemp, the lovely Belle Hooks, who you can call by her sister's name today, Miss Gwenda Motley, and Gant Gaither, the dashing Cody Knoxinger. Supposed to be a rainy day to listen to an old woman and her dear friend reminisce. Thank you for your support of the museum and of local history. Okay, I want to invite our lovely station manager, Miss Nolia Williams, to play the piano, and she's going to play a familiar tune that we're going to sing along with her. We're going to sing a rousing version of Happy Birthday to the museum. And after our song, music continues on WKOA. Stay tuned for the next specialty programming featuring live music, once again with the Todd County Boys on 1480. Nolia, please, dear, take it away. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear museum. Happy birthday to you. Woo! I understand we will have a cake to share for our live studio audience. And until next time, my friends, this has been Julia Henry with my favorite guest, William Turner, on this special episode of Julia Comes Calling. Thanks for listening.